Hello, trading is closed on the 11th of October 2023. We'll do our disclaimer first. We'll go over our calls and then we'll make some predictions. Just remember, I can be completely wrong. Any trade you make should be made at your own risk. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, Thursday, October 12th, 2023. Look for the pattern with the early high. This is it. Tomorrow should also have the early high. We said unless we gapped and promptly took out this high, we should see lower prices, which we did. So far, it's just a Fibonacci retracement of the rally and still bullish stuff. The pattern tends to rally and have a high at the close. We got the normal pattern. What isn't normal is that this didn't really clear the early high. Now, of course, that could all change at tomorrow's open. Futures are up as I'm recording this, and we open up here. That's the normal pattern. But if we can't, this can't close over this, and if you don't open over this, it's actually not a bullish pattern. And the fact that we have a wall into the close makes it vulnerable to gapping down. If we don't open up here, which is entirely possible since we're in a bull move, there's a good chance we gap under this low, particularly when there's a MEJT target of 43.56.56. Now, we had an ultimate sell signal in the afternoon along with a higher target. That's enough to satisfy the ultimate sell. We don't have to go lower. And when it printed, MEJT said it wouldn't stick. It was false. But even though we don't have to go lower than that, we usually will. And this whole move up is called false. Calls for a retracement to 43.56.56. And even though we're in a bull move here, in a strong bull move, I'm going to go with my stuff and say if we don't gap up smartly, that's my call for tomorrow. Well, we showed this chart before. Here's where we are in the pattern. We're either in Magenta 5 or Black 3 of Magenta 3, and I think it has a ways to go. But we still haven't broken through this trend line, and if you're going to keep going up in a straight line, you really have to gap over that line, which is a little bit higher now than it was yesterday. We still haven't overcome resistance. All we've done is retested resistance, and normally when you hit the 61.8 like this, we're going to drop down to the 38.2. $38.2 is way down here at 43.22. Doesn't mean you have to go there, but usually that's just not enough, particularly when you rallied all day and couldn't really clear the early high. Now again, you gap up and all that negativity goes away. Let's look at the wave count we've had on the move up. Well, we had this ABC down, and yesterday we didn't have any balance with this A and this B and this potential C. But today, if that's 1.618 for C, there's your balance. There's your 6. If this is your 100, that's your 61.8. I mean, you've got wave balance right here at this close, along with a wall into the close, tends to represent panic purchases by the amateurs. And there's an unfilled target here. There's an unfilled target here. And I still would feel happier if we were back in the 43.20s. So if we're going to keep going up, you're going to really have to gap up. And of course that can happen. Thursday's pattern has the really high regardless of where we open. There's a lower MEJT target. Unless we gap up smartly, the rules call for it to print. Today's normally bullish pattern couldn't manage to close clearly over the early high end if, underline the word if, maintained at tomorrow's open. It should lead to lower prices. It doesn't have to lead to a lower close, but that's negative for right now. The wall into the close is vulnerable to gapping down, and if such a gap occurs, it should fill relatively quickly, but not necessarily the same day. There's weight balance at the close. The NASDAQ McClellan oscillator is trading over its upper Bollinger Band, and if, that's the word if it reverses through it, it gives a sell signal. So all these things argue for lower prices tomorrow unless we gap up smartly. And that's possible because futures are higher as I'm writing this. And I can't predict the response to the Consumer Price Index report, which comes out an hour before the open. So we're at resistance. We haven't broken through. Retest so far isn't strong enough, but time hasn't run out. We're in a strong bull move here. We certainly could gap up. It's entirely possible that we gap over this line. And if we gap over this line, as I've said, this pattern has the potential to rally through this high in a straight line. If we gap up like that, nothing stops it. But we haven't gapped up yet. The NASDAQ McClellan oscillators are the place where reversals have occurred. We have lower targets. We have balance of the waves. If the bears are going to show their cards, this is the time to do it. Because if we don't gap up here, there's a very good chance we're going to gap under that low. Of course, there are no guarantees in this world. And I think all the surprises here should be on the upside. But that doesn't mean we're going to go up in a straight line. And for right now, if this count's correct about the ABC, we're actually vulnerable to a significant drop before the strong rally into year-end continues. We'll have to see where we open. It's a pattern with the early high, and that's today's call.